Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of May 22 through 28. So my diary entries are basically my reading and crafting vlogs to let you know how I'm getting along with the books that I'm reading throughout the week and letting you know anything else I've crafted on or anything else I've done. So this week I haven't really done anything. It was a very stressful week at work. I was the lone wolf at the office because my coworker took vacation for the week, as she should, because she does need to burn those days. And so, yes, it was very, very stressful. I was working after hours every day of the week, which was not fun. But I am glad that week is over. It is a long weekend, so I can do a little bit more relaxing, especially after recovering from doing all of that stressful work. But let me let you know where I am as far as my reading goes. So I am almost done with Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Battle of the Labyrinth. I'm listening to this on audiobook. I'm really, really enjoying it. It is a reread for me. I've never listened to the audiobooks before, and I'm just really enjoying this narrator. So I'm on chapter 18, page 318. So I think I've got like 3 or 4 more chapters left. Really enjoying this. I do remember a lot of what's happened in this one. So I am finding it kind of interesting with the fact that in the Titan's Curse, I didn't really enjoy that one. And I also didn't really remember anything that happened in that one. I thought maybe I had remembered a lot of what happened in books 1 and 2 because I've seen movie adaptations of it. But now that I'm into book 4 and there is no adaptation for this one, but I do remember a lot of what's happening, I think it's just that book 3 just wasn't for me. So yes, really enjoying this one. Looking forward to finishing that one. I will hopefully finish that one before the month is over. I did start Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This is the first book in the Miss Peregrine's series. I think that's what it's called. I haven't yet hit my 100 pages. I am on page 70. And you can see that I am not in a chapter like start or finish. It's highly unusual for me to stop reading not at a chapter start. So I will usually read through the entire chapter before I stop. But that's just a sign of how things are going for me. I am so tired of reading mediocre stuff. I have been liking what I've read, but nothing that I've read so far has been stuff that I'll ever reread. So yeah, I'm struggling at the moment still. I've got 30 pages left to go in Miss Peregrine's to make sure that I don't pull a punishment for my TBR game, which I just happened to film right before I'm filming this clip for you. So that should be up the Saturday after you see this video, just so that you know. But I've got 30 pages left. I've got 3 days left to read those 30 pages and hit my 100 pages, so I don't need to pull a punishment. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So, yeah, so far, Miss Peregrine's, I didn't quite remember what happened except for one thing, that, the grandfather passed. I don't feel like that's a spoiler. But we're only now getting to the point where he's kind of looking into the things that his grandfather left and things that his grandfather shared with him when he was growing up. So it should only get more interesting from here. I'm hoping so anyway. I am really enjoying seeing the pictures. That is something that I missed out on my first read through this because I listened to the entire thing on audio. So I do feel like the pictures are giving me more of an experience with this read. And so I am looking forward to continuing. It's just really slow going for me at the moment. I do really like this publication. Like, the pages are nice and thick. There's color on the page of the bottoms. And there's like pages like this in between that are really nice. And yeah, so I'm enjoying that one so far, but I'm not very far in at the moment. I have not continued with Grey Walker, so we're just going to leave that as it is. I did start Deadlocked Dollhouse, which is the first book in the Locked House Hauntings series by Mixie J. Applebottom. I'm borrowing this from Kindle Unlimited and reading it for Horror Mayhem and the National Lampoon Vacation Readathon, hosted by Lee over at Dark Roots Creations. I am about 20% done with this one, and it's okay so far. There's some analogies to having a splinter that's going on at the moment. Not that he has a splinter, but just things that are irking him like a splinter. And I am not enjoying that. But this story basically follows a dad who goes to a thrift shop to get a bicycle seat for one of his daughters. They're very poor, so poor to the fact that spending $3 on a bicycle seat will mean that he will need to miss lunch for 2 days. But while he is at the thrift store buying the bicycle seat, he sees this gorgeous dollhouse. And he thinks it's way out of his budget. Like I said, they're so poor that spending $3 on a bicycle seat means he has to skip lunch for 2 days. But he asks the store clerk anyway, just to see how much this dollhouse is. Because he has 2 young daughters and he thinks this would be such a great gift, right? Turns out that the dollhouse is really, really inexpensive. Not very much more than the bicycle seat. So he decides to forego lunch for the entire week and purchase this dollhouse. He brings it home and it's just so amazing. He cannot believe he got this find. But as he's looking at it and trying to put it together nicely before he presents it to his daughters, he accidentally breaks something. And that's what kind of starts this whole splinter analogy, because this broken item bothers him that much. And so, yeah. It's interesting so far. Like I said, it's only 20%. The very first chapters of this book actually are from the perspective of the dollhouse creator. So we see him like putting together this dollhouse. And so I thought that part was interesting too. But I presume there's going to be a connection between those chapters and what's going on here. Haven't gotten to that yet. So yeah, interesting, but I'm really not enjoying that splinter analogy. Then I actually finished a book this week. So I finished Cirque Berserk, which is the 4th book in the Rewind or Die series. This particular installment is written by Jessica Guess, and I borrowed a copy from Kindle Unlimited. And this book follows a group of teens who are on their way back from senior night, I believe. So they've rented this party bus, and they've still got time left. And they all decide that since they've got time left, why not use the time that they've rented the party bus for and head out to Cirque Berserk. Now, Cirque Berserk is an amusement park that has been vacant for years. Back in the 80s, there was this incident where a group of teens went on a murderous rampage throughout the amusement park, but they were never caught and never found. And so these kids, now 30 years later, decide to visit the park. It's an abandoned park. It hasn't been in service since that incident, but it was also never torn down. And so while they are at the amusement park, the killers from 30 years ago show up. And I think that's basically all I want to tell you about this particular book. I thought it was interesting for what it was. If you enjoy slasher stories, I think you'll enjoy this one. It's definitely not going to be a reread for me, considering the type of story it is. But I thought it was entertaining. This series, the Rewind or Die series, they're all like standalone novels. They don't follow the same like groups of people, and they're all written by different authors. So I didn't feel bad about picking up one in the middle of the series. And I think they all have like a connection to the past. I don't know for sure because this is the only book that I've actually read, but that's the gist that I got based on little summaries that I've read. So I'm interested to read more books from this series. Not all of them sound interesting to me, but there are a couple that do. And thankfully they're available on Kindle Unlimited for me to borrow. So that's great. So yeah, I did finish a book this week, which is good. I do still have quite a bit to read for the end of the month because in order to finish the National Lampoon Vacation Readathon, I do need to finish Deadlocked Dollhouse and I need to finish another book. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that done, to be honest. I do have Monday off, so we will see. But I do have a lot of video editing to do and I kind of want to spend the day playing video games on Monday. I haven't been able to really like do that. And there is a video game coming out in June. It's the sequel to a video game you've actually seen me play in one of my diary entries. It is the new Fire Emblem game that's coming out. And not all Fire Emblem games I'm able to play with my daughter. In fact, she's playing one right now. Now when I'm filming, she's playing the Fire Emblem Three Houses game, and that one has turn-by-turn based elements to it, and I don't like games like that, but that's also a one-player game. So the Fire Emblem Warriors game, which is the one that both of us play together, is more my type of game. It's not turn-by-turn. We move completely separate of each other, but we're playing the same game field, and we're basically just fighting groups of people and things like that. That's the type of game I really enjoy. I'm not great at them, but I do find them entertaining, and being able to play games like that with my daughter really is what makes it enjoyable for me. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that one, but we want to, or at least I want to finish playing the extra levels on the Fire Emblem Warriors game, and I just haven't been able to do that. So I want to do that on Monday. And other than that, that's pretty much everything we've done. Now, TV watching is coming to a slow down because the TV shows that we've watched, they're all kind of doing their season endings. So I do think we are going to get more into Korean drama watching. We did finish the Korean drama I talked about last week, which was Moved to Heaven. Really enjoyed that one, though the ending, the final few minutes, was a little bit weird. I do feel like they left it open to do a sequel. I was reading comments from a lot of people who have watched it saying that they're hoping for a sequel. I just thought those last scenes were really strange. But yeah, other than that, the entire series was highly enjoyable, and it really made me want to get back into watching Korean dramas. So maybe we'll do that in the off season. I think there are also a couple of movies that we'd like to watch. I know the new Jurassic Park movie is coming out in a couple of weeks. I will not be going to the theater for that one. We will be waiting until it comes out on rental. Unless we decide to go to a drive-in. I know there are a couple drive-ins around, and I have brought it up to my family about that because I'm just not comfortable going into a regular theater still. But a drive-in would work because we'd only be in our own car. And my daughter has never been to a drive-in movie. We used to go all the time when I was growing up. There was actually a drive-in theater in Hawaii, just one. It closed down when I was in college, I think. But I remember really enjoying going there. And, you did the 2-feature thing. You were able to sit in your car and watch the movie on a huge screen. And so, yeah. Maybe we'll do that. We'll see. I've got some vacation coming up in June because my daughter is graduating from college. And so I took that week off. My dad is also going to be attending, and so we'll be able to visit with him for a little bit. But yes, I'm really looking forward to vacation. Really, really looking forward to it. I feel like it's been forever since I've had some vacation. And really, it's only been like 3 months or so because I was on vacation in February. But yeah, today is the start of summer sock camp, which is a like knitting event that Crazy Sock Lady hosts every year. And so I think this is the 3rd annual summer sock camp. I'm never really successful in participating in it, but I like the feeling that I get. It gives me kind of that push that I need to actually work on socks. Now, you know that I have not been very interested in knitting lately, but I do need to have my daughter's pair of graduation socks done by her graduation. So I am actually wearing, let me see if I can stand up without making too much of a mess, my new summer sock camp shirt. So it says Summer Sock Camp 2022. So I did buy one again this year. I have one from last year, so I'm going to be wearing that one tomorrow. But I have put in a little bit of rows, or I have put in a few rows of my daughter's graduation sock. So this is in my labyrinth bag. I know I showed it to you before, but I have gotten this much done. I was so bad about putting in a marker, so I think 1, 2, 3. I was about here the last time I showed this to you, so I've done 3 more repeats. And so now there's 48 rows because it's an 8-row repeat on this pattern, and I've got my 15 rows of 2x2 rib. So this is a broken rib on this side, and then there's a little bit of a braided cable here. This is the Dunbrock socks by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears podcast, and the back is just 2x2 broken rib on this tweed sock yarn by Lana Grossa. So I'm ready to put in the heel, so that's great. We're going to be using this red color in the Phil Colonna Arouetta Classic. This is color number 139. And so I plan to do this sometime this week as well. Maybe I'll stitch on that while I listen to the rest of Percy Jackson in the Battle of the Labyrinth. I can't remember how many months Summer Sock Camp actually goes for, but I am motivated at the moment to work on those socks because I do want to have them done for her to wear when she walks for graduation. So I am not doing too poorly with that. I was able to put in all of those 3 repeats while we were watching the finales of FBI Most Wanted and FBI International. So that is great. And that is pretty much everything I've got for this week's check-in. So let me know down in the comments below if you are participating in a summer challenge or what you've read this week. We're coming up towards the end of the month. Have you read everything you wanted to read in the month of May? Or are you struggling and trying to get in as much as you can before the month is over like me? Let me know that down in the comments below. And if nothing else, you would just like to let me know that you were here. If you could like this video and leave me a peach emoji down in the comments below. I think there is a peach scene, a scene with a peach in Labyrinth, right? For my Labyrinth bag? I think so. So if you could leave me that peach emoji, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.